If you're a renter, there are a couple things that you're going to want to do when moving in and out of your property. So number one, especially in the state of Florida, this before you move in, before you bring in a single piece of furniture, you're going to want to walk that property and photograph every square inch of it. The way it works is at the end of your lease, the landlord is going to come in and make determinations about what damage was done to the property that you caused. When that determination is made, they're going to put a dollar value to it, and that dollar value is going to be subtracted from your security deposit. So if you want to increase the odds of having the largest amount of your security deposit returned to you, the first thing you're going to want to do before you move in is photograph every single square inch of your unit, and you save it. And you definitely want to send it to your landlord or whoever else is involved in the transaction, whether it be an agent, because sometimes they're represented by an agent, sometimes they're represented by a property manager, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Take that folder, make it a Google Drive, make it any of the other photo sharing apps, and send it to everybody who's involved. And you keep that, because when the end of your lease rolls around, what you're going to want to do is clean that place top to bottom, repair any damage that you know of, that you created, and then you're going to want to photograph that unit top to bottom again. The big reason for that is again, you're basically, you have to realize that everything's kind of making a case. It's kind of like court, right? Everything is, especially when it comes to contracts, you're making a legal case either for or against yourself. So when you leave, you want to make sure that you are making the best and strongest case to protect yourself and protect your security deposit. The landlord's going to come in and do their own thing. Some of them hire inspectors to do that's what my company does, is we hire an inspector to come in, photograph the place top to bottom, do the repairs, they hand us an invoice, and then that's what we'll deduct from your security deposit. When it comes to a dispute, let's say there's a hole in the wall, and you say, hey, we didn't put that hole in there, right? That was there when we moved in. Then you know what you're gonna do. You're gonna pull out your photo from when you first moved in to show that the hole in the wall was there, and when you left the hole right there, or you improved it, or you didn't make it worse. That's a big thing, because even if there's a hole in the wall, even if there's damage, you can still be charged for the additional damage. At the end of the day, make sure that you are photographing every square inch that you can of that place. I can't stress that enough, because that will definitely be the thing to kind of help you keep as much money of your security deposit as possible. Now, if you have a landlord, some landlords, they do make it harder for you. They're in possession of that money, right? And they have to issue it back to you. So if somebody's already in possession of the money, it is definitely harder to get it back. If they claim it, keep it, and once they give you your portion, they say, okay, here's your $500 back, I'm gonna keep the $1,000. It is hard. But when you go to court, if you go to court, and this is not legal advice, I just want to know, this is not legal advice, I'm not an attorney, I'm just a property manager that has been through this multiple times. But when you go to court, you're going to want to present your evidence, obviously, to the court, to the judge. And if your case is solid because you've taken the right photos and you haven't done any additional damage to the unit, you're going to get your money back. And more times than not, the person who loses, you can ask the court for them to pay legal fees. So hopefully it shouldn't cost you any money. But here's the problem. And this is where it gets additionally messy. These things take a long time. The last security deposit dispute I was in, I was 100% justified. A tenant of mine had destroyed the floors in my unit. Absolutely wrecked them. They left a big, giant, hardened blob of syrup in the middle of the floor. It was clear cut. They left a broken shot glass in the garbage disposal. They left a bucket of spare change behind the drying machine. Not on top of it, not beneath it, not in front of it, not outside, behind the drying machine, right? They had destroyed this place. And we went to them and said, hey, listen, all we want, because to repair the damage, and especially to the damage to the floors, it's gonna cost us $20,000. All we want to do is keep your $4,000 that you gave us as a security deposit, and we're not going to sit there and tax you for the other 16 grand to replace the floors. We thought the owner and I thought that was a reasonable request. Any person with 2 bits of sense would say, you know what, this is a great deal, I'll take it, right? Not this tenant. This tenant said, absolutely not. We went the full shebang, we did the full Monty, we went to court, and it took over a year. We argued over $4,000 for over a year. The attorneys, bless them, at least our attorneys, bless them, didn't even get paid on that. So I say all this to say that it is so very important to document the unit before you move in and after you move in, because you want to avoid conflict as much as possible, because at some point it does get obnoxious. At some point you have to ask yourself, is it worth going to court? Is it worth going to a year-long battle? Is it worth going to a 6-month-long battle, a 1.5-year-long battle, a 2-year battle over, whatever dispute is, or whatever the amount is? But it's so incredibly important to still protect yourself as much as possible. So number one tip I would advise, document the place prior to moving in and post moving out, without question. Because a big reason why you document it the day you leave, because that way a landlord can't come in behind you, punch a hole in the wall and be like, I need that extra money. Another thing that's super duper important is just maintain a good relationship with your landlord. Some landlords are scum, there's no doubt about it. Some tenants are scum. But if you're a decent person, do your best to maintain a positive, mutually beneficial relationship with your landlord. And landlords should do the same. Landlords should 100% maintain a positive and mutually beneficial relationship with their tenants. But from talking to tenants, speaking to tenants right now and kind of reaching out to you guys, do your best to maintain a positive relationship with your landlord, because it does make things easier. They are a lot more forgiving when it comes to certain things. When I have a good relationship with my tenants, I basically tax them for nothing. When it comes to moving out and it comes to their security deposits, more times than not, I tax them for nothing. Unless it's egregious or unless it's something that I really need to take care of. Like sometimes they leave things behind. I have to take the extra time to disassemble the giant TV stand they left behind, in order to pack up their pots and pans they left behind. Yes, I'm gonna tax you for that, but more times than not, if you just maintain a positive, mutually beneficial relationship with your landlord, that also makes your life significantly easier. Leaps and bounds 10 times easier. So as a tenant in Florida, if you are a tenant in Florida, if you're moving to Florida, if you are going to be renting in Florida, I highly, 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 highly recommend that you do those two things. Document your unit before and after you move out. Maintain a positive, mutually beneficial relationship with your landlord, and familiarize yourself with the Florida Landlord Tenant Act. It is statutes, in Florida statutes, it is designed to favor tenants. Florida has a very tenant positive statutes and laws. So familiarize yourself with that. If you do those three things, you should have a great time renting anywhere in Florida. There are other things that we could be doing, could be discussing, and we will discuss. But I think for right now, those three things are the most important, and those are three things that you should focus on.